Season 2 of How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom just came out, so let's talk about what to expect in it. Hey guys, welcome to Bad Anime Decisions. I'm Anya Archer, the one with all the trashy light novels. If you've watched our podcast, you've heard me talk about how Realist Hero is my #1 favorite light novel series many times, so naturally, I'm excited about getting to see more. I didn't expect a second season to happen since Season 1 looked like they had a very low budget. There were a lot of still shots, wonky animations, and really odd perspectives, and while I hope that Season 2 will be better in that regard, it's probably more realistic to expect the same level of animation quality. I'm not complaining about it though, since I'm happy that Realist Hero managed to get an anime adaptation at all. Considering how niche it is, I never thought I'd be able to see one, and was surprised when it got announced. So I'm even more surprised that it got a Season 2. Maybe the first one did well? They managed to make Alicia figure an android, which I'm super stoked for, so subscribe for when they arrive. Anyways, the first season covered the first 2 volumes of the light novels, so Season 2 will probably cover volumes 3 and 4. Though since a lot of these volumes cover negotiations and conferences, it's possible that they will skim through it and go into later volumes too. I love reading about negotiations and domestic development, but I know that it might not be as interesting in a visual medium for some of the wider audience. Last season ended with Soma meeting Janu. I mean, if you don't have a blonde knight named Janu, are you even a real isekai? In the streets. So Season 2 will likely start off with the negotiations between the kingdom and the empire about Amazonia's territory. It's pretty interesting as the empire is also annoyed at how Amazonia exploited a loophole in their anti-war treaty, them and crying to them about it, and afterwards John and Soma's people have some pretty productive discussions. The last episode of the first season already touched on how the Empire isn't as malicious as we first expected, and the actions get further expanded upon. The reasons for Soma refusing to sign the Empire's Mankind Declaration come up again too. One of my favorite things about this series is how things relate back towards the history of our world, which the author seems to have a good grasp on, and this is one of the key moments. With the war and revolt over, the focus also comes back to domestic policy and research and development. Big flashy wars and action scenes are attention grabbing for a lot of people, but I actually like domestic development stuff more. It's interesting for me to see changes made at home to build up a country and steadily gather more progress. One of the issues Soma will probably deal with this season is the abolition of slavery, which if not done carefully can destabilize the country and cause an upheaval. A lot of isekai protagonists either don't do anything about slavery and just treat it as something that's normal for another world, or go with the opposite end and instantly abolish it with no thought for how the newly freed slaves are going to live after that. It's good to see actual thought put into how to change the system with minimal trouble, and how to give the former slaves proper opportunities to be able to live and support themselves. Though, maybe the anime will just skim over it. We also get a bit of mad scientist action, which I'm always happy to see. While the world seems like a pretty generic isekai fantasy, there's actually some thought and deeper meaning put into what this world is and how Soma fits into it. But what I'm most excited for is seeing Roroa come onto the scene and reveal her master plan. I love Roroa a lot in the light novels. She's very funny and energetic, and always brings a lot of color to the story. We only got brief glimpses of her in the first season, so I can't wait for her to appear more. She has the mind of an honorable kind of merchant, so she's always looking to make fun events to keep the economy flowing and healthy. And she's such a troll who gets Soma wrapped up in her comedy acts a lot. Lastly, I think that this season will cover the reason why the former King Albert handed the throne over to Soma immediately, and why Georg Carmine sacrificed himself to rid the country of Soma's enemies despite having never met him. For a story that tries to have a detailed and nuanced take on politics, those 2 are the biggest unrealistic actions that stand out, and it turns out that there's a really good reason for them. I really like the setup and backstory for why those characters decided to do that, and every time I read it, it feels deep and touching to me. I hope you like it too when the story gets to that point, and I really look forward to watching this season. If you want to read ahead, I'll link the light novels down below. I really recommend reading them since they give way more detail and depth that the anime doesn't cover, and above all else, they're just really fun. Anyways, please like and subscribe for more bad anime decisions, and I'll see you in the next video.